all stand and join in Create Unity. And I will sing the line, and you just go ahead and echo it, okay?
I receive,
peace I receive,
and together
we
create unity.
We create unity,
born in oneness,
born in oneness,
created of love,
created of love.
We are all expression.
We are all expression
from the stars above.
From stars above.
I'm going to start the beat over and pick it up a little bit.
Peace I give you.
Peace I give you.
Peace I receive.
Peace I receive.
And together we create unity.
Create unity.
Born in oneness.
Born in oneness.
Created of love.
Created of love.
We are all expression.
We are all expressions
from the stars above.
From the stars above.
Peace I give you.
Peace I give you.
Peace I receive.
Peace I receive.
And together we create unity.
Create unity.
Born in oneness.
Born in oneness.
Created of love.
Created of love.
We are all expression.
We are all expressions
from the stars above.
From the stars above.
Thank you.
Thank you, Reverend Michelle, and thank you, Dwayne, and good morning to all of you this fine day in October. It's great to see you all, and we certainly want to identify, acknowledge any visitors for the first time. Are there any visitors for the first time? Okay. Well, we do have one visitor here. Thank you for being with us this morning. Yes, indeed. And we also want to acknowledge our viewers on Public Access Channel 21 with Spectrum, as well as our YouTube viewers that will get an opportunity to see this service later in the coming week.
I don't know if you usually stand now, but if you feel like it, stand. No? Okay.
Weave us together. Weave us together in unity and love. Weave us together. Weave us together, together in love. We are many textures, we are many colors, each one different from the other. But we are entwined with one another in one great tapestry. Weave us together in unity and love. Weave us together us together, together in love. We are different instruments playing our own melodies, each one tuning to a different key. But we are all playing in harmony, in one great symphony. Weave us together in unity and love. Weave us together, together in love. A moment ago, still we did not know our unity, only diversity. Now the Christ in me greets the Christ in thee, in one great family. Weave us together in unity and love. Weave us together, together in love.
Thank you for the beautiful song. And now we'll have our daily word by our prayer chaplain for the day, Michael Thomas.
Thank you, Lawrence. And today's daily word is joy-filled spirit. I am joy-filled and radiant. These words to a popular unity hymn perfectly express the deep and boundless joy in my soul. I am the radiant life of God. I am. Divine happiness is my birthright, and I express that radiant happiness in many ways. Through a warm smile I share with others, through my uplifting words, and through the helpful actions I take on behalf of others. Sounds a lot like Helen Swanson. Like a cork that floats to the surface, my soul is naturally inclined to rise up in a state of joy. I don't let negativity hold me down. Instead, I am buoyed up by my relationship with God. My connection to Spirit helps me live from a joy-filled awareness. I am energized and uplifted. The joy I feel in my soul is an expression of the radiant life of God that courses throughout my being. And from Psalms 51, verse 8, let me hear joy and gladness. And as prayer chaplain, I'll be available in the prayer room after the service. And not only joy and gladness, I would be happy to hear your pain, your prayers that you would like to send to God. I'd rather hear the joy, but I'm available for anything.
Thank you, Michael. And now I need to just say a few words for some of you. Most of you are very familiar with our guest speaker this morning, Reverend Michele Sevacko. She's been here many times, and I know that I missed her back in September on the 14th, I believe it was. We had a World Day of Prayer, and she was scheduled to be here, but things didn't quite work out. But we know that she brings a lot of heart with her. She brings a tremendous amount of creativity in her song and in her poetry. And she loves rhythm. So as you can see up front, there's a table that is filled with all kinds of percussion instruments. So I think she's going to play around with that. It's not going to just gather dust right there. And so we'll look forward to a heartfelt and upbeat message from Reverend.
Good morning.
Good morning.
So, before I continue, I just want to say thank you all for being here. I know there are other places you could be, home in bed for one of them. There's other things you can be doing, but you chose to share your love and your light and your energy here at Unity of Charlotte this morning. And for that, I'm very grateful. And I think it's a great day to be alive. You agree? Yes. Well, turn to the person next to you. If you don't have somebody next to you, just talk to the empty chair and say, I'm glad you're alive. Now, just to be sure, though, we want to make sure you're really alive. Check your pulse. You got a pulse? Okay, so when I tell you it's time for some rhythm a little later on, I don't want to hear anybody saying, I'm not a percussionist, I don't have rhythm, because everybody has an inner percussionist in them, okay? And this is a mistake-free zone, thank God, because there's no telling what's going to come out of this voice this morning. And so now, you may have read in your newsletter or seen an announcement, we are going to be participating in the Global Rhythm Circle for Oneness after we move out of the meditation a little later. So if you didn't bring an instrument with you this morning, I'd like to invite you to come up and get an instrument. Now, anybody that doesn't want to participate at the time, I'll probably just send to a corner or something. But no, you can sit there and just kind of soak in the rhythm. If you want to get up and dance around, you can dance around. And this will just be a few-minute segment during the service. But for now, just come up and get whatever you'd like to use when we move into that part. Well, if you've heard me speak before, you might remember hearing that I came from a very diverse family, culturally, racially, and religiously, predominantly Catholic and Jewish, with some other things that were kind of thrown in. But at the ripe age of 12, 13, in the middle of a lot of confusion, I decided I wanted to go on a quest and find my own path. And because my family always welcomed questioning and exploration, they blessed me as they did that. So I spent a little over 20 years experiencing different faith and spiritual paths and ended up landing in Unity a little over 30 years ago. If you do some quick math, you'll be able to figure out how old I am. But as you know, because you're here at Unity, this is a place that honors all paths and all people. And I had to have some place that was going to honor all paths and all people, especially my eccentric family. So when I first saw Humanities Team show up on the news feed on Facebook, I wasn't sure what it was. I actually hadn't liked the page or anything, but that was at a time when if your friends commented or liked, it would show up in your news feed. And so I saw this, and I decided that I wanted to go to the website and check it out. It just sounded kind of intriguing. And when I did, the first thing I saw was that their mission was to awaken the world to oneness. And I thought, oh, oneness, that's something that I've believed for like forever. There was something in me as a child that knew that I was one with everybody, with everything, with all of nature, no matter what it was. And so I read a little more. I found that it was founded by Neil Donald Walsh, who many of you may be familiar with the Conversations with God series of books and others. And it was pretty much staffed, womaned, manned by volunteers, about 99%. And what they were looking for was a volunteer that would go through the signatures and comments that had been made for something called the Declaration of Oneness. And I thought, well, that doesn't sound very hard. I think that's something I could do. So I contacted him to find out what all it would involve. And this was in February of 2010. And the person that was in charge of it at the time said that we're going to be meeting with the United Nations, or a representative of the United Nations, in May. And what we need is for you to go through and make sure there's no duplications of signatures and that all of the comments that have been made are appropriate. So I was like, again, that doesn't sound very hard. Well, come to find out, there's tens of thousands of signatures from over 50 countries around the globe, many of whom do not speak or write English. And so that meant that the first thing that we needed to do was have the hubby, who doubles as my roadie, my sound man, and all these other things, set up the program on the computer so that we could weed out any duplications. The next thing was to get translators from as many countries as possible to go over and give us the English translation. And in the cases where we couldn't, then I had to use Google Translate. I see you've used Google Translate. You can end up with some interesting translations on that. But I can't begin to express to you how it made me feel to read all of these different comments from people all over the world, in every continent except Antarctica, and talk about how hopeful they were about oneness and peace and the connection with everybody. So in May, the leadership team, or part of the leadership team from Humanities team, went to the United Nations and met with Ambassador Chowdhury. And he liked everything that he read and he liked everything that he saw. But he said, you know what? Sometimes wheels move really slowly. So I suggest you pick a date and start celebrating. And they did. They picked October 24th of 2010. Well, this was May already. So that only gave a few months to come up with some things to do and then plan them, promote them, market them. And I realized, as a member of the Association for Global New Thought, aka AGNT, that this coincided with one of their seasons. You may remember at one point I mentioned there's 4 seasons that are celebrated. And in the fall is the season for interfaith, intercultural understanding. So this was happening simultaneously with that season. And they ended up connecting with Dr. Barbara Fields, who is the executive director for AGNT, and Michael Beckwith, who, as well as being the spiritual leader for Agape International, is also the president of AGNT. So they were very instrumental in those first few years in getting everything together and off the ground. But what about unity as a movement? How does it tie in? Well, according to an interview with Connie Fillmore Bazzi in Unity magazine from 1994, she said, when Charles Fillmore's ideas about spiritual reality were first incubating, he did not have a name to call them. He just knew that he had a certain awareness about the nature of life and human beings. From studying the information about world religions that was available to him at the time and his own inner prayer work, he could see that there was a unity of all things, a universal oneness. So it was from this understanding that unity was born. And this year, Global Oneness Day theme is oneness, living into the unity of all life. But what does that mean? And more importantly, what does it mean in our lives and how we live our lives? The oneness movement is growing. More and more people have awakened to the ultimate reality of the oneness of all life. But I think it takes more than just waking up to it. As our fifth basic unity principle says, it's not enough to know the truth. We have to live that truth. We have to show up. We have to put the feet on it. We have to let what we say and our actions reflect what we know to be true. We have to move through and past social conventions, customs, and practices as they limit us. And they're created from our own experiences and worldview, based on our perceptions and perspectives. So it doesn't mean that we take tradition and just throw it out. There's a lot of fine traditions. We just need to be more expansive in our thinking and in our doing. Now, as I said before, humanity's team's purpose is to awaken the world to oneness. But before you can do that, you have to understand what oneness really means. And it's been defined by Steve Farrell, the president and worldwide executive director of Humanity's Team, as the interconnectedness of all life, of everything that exists. It is our unity with the divine and each other. We are an inseparable part of the divine, God, Source, Spirit. Whatever name you're comfortable with, whatever works for you, it doesn't matter. It's all the same. And now I'm going to share a song with you, I hope, called God in Everything.
Everywhere I look, I see God in everything. Deep inside and all around me, God in everything. I can feel it in my beating heart, God in everything. It's in every breath of life I take, God in everything. Everywhere I look, I see God in everything. Deep inside and all around me, God in everything. It's in every stranger's face I see God in everything. Brothers, sisters, family are we, God in everything. Everywhere I look, I see God in everything, deep inside and all around me. God in everything. It's in mountain, valley, lake, and stream. God in everything. All creation, beautiful and free. God in everything. God in everything. God in everything.
Thank you. And thank you, Lauren. The reality is that, like universal principles, whether we recognize them, whether we understand them, whether we use them, oneness is still a principle, and it's still working. As I've said before, for those who aren't coming from a spiritual place, science supports this. It confirms that the ancient teachings in science are very much in alignment. The essence of oneness surrounds us. So the analogy that's been made when you ask what is oneness is that would be like a fish asking what the ocean is or what water is. It just is. And you're surrounded by it, and it moves in and through you. Science tells us that everything is energy and that we're connected. So ancient spiritual teachings and modern-day quantum physics are not only compatible, but they're very much in alignment with each other. Now, at the core of all of the major world religions, and probably most, if not all, of the minor, is the Golden Rule. It's the essence of oneness. So I'm going to share a few of those sacred texts with you. From Buddha, representing Buddhism. Treat not others in ways that you yourself would find hurtful. From Jesus, representing Christianity. In everything, do to others as you would have them do to you, for this is the law and the prophets. From Confucius, one word which sums up the basis of all good conduct: loving kindness. Do not do to others what you do not want done to yourself. From Hinduism, this is the sum of duty. Do not do to others that which would cause you pain if done to you. From the Prophet Muhammad, representing Islam, not one of you truly believes until you wish for others what you wish for yourself. From Rabbi Hillel in the Talmud, representing Judaism, what is hateful to you, do not do to your neighbor. This is the whole Torah. All the rest is commentary. Go and learn it. From Lao Tzu, representing Taoism, regard your neighbor's gain as your own gain, and your neighbor's loss as your loss. And from Chief Dan George, representing Native spirituality, We are as much alive as we keep the earth alive. And I'd like you to take that into your heart for just a moment. It's something we're going to be going back to. To me, the bottom line is that what you do to another person, you're not doing to another individual. You're doing it to another aspect of yourself. I am you, you are me. We are all connected through our energy, through our pulses. There's something that I do in facilitating rhythm circles where everybody just starts on whatever beat. And within 2 to 3 minutes, except for a group of second graders I had, people do what's known as entrainment. And everybody ends up on that same rhythm. When you can look into another's eyes and see the divine, which is in everyone, you will understand the universal truth of oneness. It's a timeless truth. Mystics and philosophers have been speaking about it and writing about it for eons, thousands of years. And for over a century, science has proven the connection between consciousness and matter, our biological and our psychological interdependence, and our genetic connection with all life. If you were here when I spoke about our interdependence in July, you may remember that I used the Genetic Literacy Project as an example, who has shown that we are connected through our genes with rhinos, reef coral, rice, many things. And it's been like that for over 1 billion years. I think they had said 1.6 billion years. So although this day may appear to focus on our oneness with each other, with people, to me it's very much about our oneness with all nature too. Because nature isn't something outside of us that's just out there. We are part of nature. And on this wonderful planet that supports us so beautifully, that we often refer to as Mother Earth. And now we're going to do a chant called We Are All One.
We are all one, and the earth is our mother. We are all one, and the earth is our home. We reach out and touch, we reach out and love, we reach out and heal. We are all one, we are all one, and the earth is our mother. We are all one, and the earth is our home. We reach out and touch, we reach out and love, we reach out and heal. We are all one, we are all one, and the earth is our mother. We are all one, and the earth is our home. We reach out and touch, we reach out in love, we reach out and heal. We are all one, we are all one, and the our mother. We are all one, and the earth is our home. We reach out and touch. We reach out in love. We reach out and heal. We are all one. Once more. We are all one, and the earth is our mother. We are all one, and the earth is our home. We reach out and touch. We reach out in love. We reach out and heal. We are all one.
Good job. Now, many of you know that drumming is a passion for me. So, back when we were planning what we were going to be doing for the first Global Oneness Day, we got a bunch of the volunteers and the different leaders together. And I thought, rhythm, that's something that transcends cultures and races and languages and religions and all those things. Everybody responds to rhythm on some level, whether it's drumming or dancing or whatever. So I suggested that we have a global rhythm circle for oneness as a way to connect people globally. And for the next 7, I coordinated it, which meant posting it in several places, keeping track of what people, what groups, what countries, what states, everybody that would be participating, as much as I could see, because people would also sign up and then share with their friends, and I wouldn't necessarily know how many of them were. Or in cases like today, we're signed up as Unity of Charlotte, but it doesn't say that there's going to be 30 or 40 people, whatever, that are participating. And this year, I ended up not being able to coordinate it. But as of last year, and it goes from today through next Sunday, so that no matter where people are around the globe, there's an opportunity to participate. But as of last year, there was over 70 countries that were represented by either an individual or groups of people or whatever. Tuesday, there'll be a children's school in Bahrain. That's my favorite. They send me videos of it. They've participated every year, so this will be their 8th year of participating. And last year we had either 46 or 48 of the U.S. states represented plus D.C. And so today, after we do the meditation, as we move through that, then we're going to go into our participation in it. And we'll start out meditative for a few minutes. So if anybody is not going to be drumming or using a rhythm instrument, and you want to just sit there with your eyes closed, or if you want to get up and just move around to the rhythm, just do whatever Spirit leads you to do. And just remember, this is a mistake-free zone, okay? So back to Humanities Team. There are presently over 550,000 people that are referred to as teammates from more than 150 countries. They have a worldwide Facebook page in addition to the web page with over 650,000 likes, as well as many other pages that are for specific areas, inspiration, and more. One of those is called the Prayer Intention and Meditation Requests Group, and I admin that group. And it's strictly for prayer and responding to prayer. There's presently just short of 10,000 people in the group, and you have to request to join it. It is a closed group, And it is such so that people can come in and request prayer and know that it's going to stay there, that it is confidential. I also host a monthly global-wide power prayer call that Humanities Team sponsors. And people from all over the globe participate in that, either by phone or through the internet. They have an incredible number of programs every month, at least one a day. So I'm not going to try to tell you what they all are, and they all change too, or a lot of them do. But I would like to invite you to go to globalonenessday.org and sign up for the 12-hour summit that's going to take place on Tuesday, with 12 hours of speakers, including Marianne Williamson, Doreen Virtue, Michael Beckwith, Gary Zukoff, Panache Desai, Matthew Fox, Barbara Marks Hubbard, and many more. There'll be 50, more than 50. And I also have to mention that from the first time Reverend Nancy heard about Humanities Team, she and Unity of Charlotte came on board in support. At that time, the chief financial officer was a member here, as was our North Carolina, South Carolina state coordinator. I admin the Humanities Team Carolina's Facebook page, and meetings were held here at Unity of Charlotte. So Unity of Charlotte has been participating in the Global Oneness Day celebration since 2010. This will be the 8th annual. So I'm very appreciative of the opportunity to come and share with you today and speak with you today and soak up some of this energy of oneness that you all have. And now we're going to move into the song in preparation for meditation. And I invite you to join with me on the chorus. It's One with the Oneness. When I think about the universe and the wonder of it all, I can feel its power, and I can hear its call. When I look into the heavens and see the stars shine above, I can feel the power of universal love, and I'm one with the oneness. Sing with me. Yes, I'm one with the oneness. Oh, I'm one with the oneness, with all that is. When I look at Mother Nature,
all the flowers, birds, and trees. I can't help but sense a heartbeat that loves and cares for all my needs. We're living in the light of a shining sun, and I believe that all things will return unto the one, and I'm one with the oneness. Yes, I'm one with the oneness. Oh, I'm one with the oneness, with all that is. Let's sing it again. And I'm one with the oneness. Yes, I'm one with the oneness. Oh, I'm one with the oneness, with all that is. Now, if you're comfortable doing so, take the hand of the person next to you and let's sing, "We're One with the Oneness." And we're one with the oneness. Yes, we're one with the oneness. Oh, we're one with the oneness, with all that is. Again. And we're one with the oneness. Yes, we're one with the oneness. Oh, we're one with the oneness, with all that is. With all that is, with all that is, with all that is. Relax. If you're holding anything in your hands, let it go. Take a deep breath. Releasing any stress, any concerns, any tension. Just let it go. Take a few deep breaths. Feeling yourself filled with peace, love, serenity, oneness.
Feel yourself totally supported by your seat and by the source of your being. Feel yourself consciously connected with that source. As you continue breathing, feel your heart opening even wider, both to give love and to receive love. Visualize yourself like a fish in that body of water. Just a drop of water in the ocean. Feel yourself flowing together in this ocean we call life. In using your gift of imagination, see us all as one. No separation. Created by love, as love. We are one love. And what one of us may not be able to do individually, we can do collectively. In one drop of water are found all the secrets of all the oceans. But in one aspect of you are found all the aspects of existence. With this feeling of oneness, let's send out vibrations and energy filled with peace, love, and oneness, holding in our hearts a planet where everyone has shelter, work, medical attention, and anything else needed to bring balance to mind, body, and spirit. Let's visualize equality and civil rights for all. And let's send peace and love to our world leaders, to all of those who represent and serve us, affirming that they are open and receptive to the divine guidance that's available to all, and that they'll make the highest and best decisions for all involved. Let's visualize a planet where violence is not a viable solution to conflict. And in our mind's eye, see what it looks like to live in peace. feel what it feels like to live in peace. Remembering that peace begins within each and every one of us. Let's send love-filled healing energy out to our planet now, seeing it traveling in every direction, and affirm the perfect balance of all things necessary for the nourishment and health of the planet, all of nature, which we are a part of. Now coming back to this time and space, feel yourself grounded in peace and love, centered in oneness. And so it is. And before we go into the rhythm portion, there's one other thing that I would like to ask you to do. You know how when we're going to give somebody a blessing or do energy work, healing work, we take our hands and we rub them together. And a lot of times when you do that and then you hold them out, you can feel them just kind of pulsing with that energy going through. I know there are people besides me that could use some healing energy this morning.